What up guys, JT Anime Nerd here bringing you all that nerdy goodness. Today I am happy to give you guys episode 1 of my concept of a TV show of Crash Bandicoot. Now I am relatively new to Crash Bandicoot, but I've been doing my Crash lore homework very thoroughly, so I'll do the best I can with each episode. Now when it comes to voice actors, we know that all Crash needs is someone to make sounds, so I can 100% confirm he won't be talking for the majority of the series, like 98%. Him speaking will only ever be for important or extremely comedic parts, but when it comes to a voice actor, I would stick with one of his current ones, Jess Harnell, as his experience voice acting Wacko does make him perfect for that Looney Tunes-esque comedy. That being said, while I am good with serious storytelling, I'm not the best when it comes to comedy. I only know what I know from cartoons, so don't expect full comedy gold. Now when it comes to the voice of Aku Aku, he would be voiced by, of course, Greg Eagles, the famous voice of both Aku Aku and Grim from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, one of my favorite shows growing up. Now of course when it comes to Coco, she would be voiced by the talented Debbie Derryberry, who's known for voicing Coco, as well as Jimmy Neutron, another show I grew up watching as a kid. Finally, when it comes to the voice of Tana, I want her to be voiced by Stephanie Beatriz. I know Tana in the main timeline was the stereotypical damsel in distress, but I at least want her to be a bit like her alternate version by at least knowing how to fight and have that kick-butt attitude while still being a bit of a damsel in distress type. And yes, she and Crash are already a thing by the time this series begins. Now we get to Papu Papu, who would be voiced by Maurice LaMarche. Sorry if I butchered that name, but in case you don't know who that is, if you grew up watching Tak and the Power of Juju, he voiced the chief of the tribe, which is a voice that also works for Papu Papu. Finally, we get to a kind of new, but not new character, you'll see what I mean. But I call him Waka Waka. If you get that reference, then you are awesome. But he would be voiced by John DiMaggio. I'm sure most of you guys would prefer him to be voice Uka Uka, who will appear in the future, but out of the 3 voice actors that voiced him over the years, I went with the best of the 3 for him, which isn't John DiMaggio in my opinion. Please don't come at me too hard in the comments for that. Finally, since Crash isn't going to talk for the majority of the series, his actions will be told through sound effect, be they from what I get online or my own voice. So, without further ado, I give you guys episode 1, Trouble in Paradise. The story begins on Insanity Island, in what's known as Native Village. Tribesmen are roaming around, while inside the giant hut, the chieftain, known as Papu Papu, is taking a nap on his throne while being surrounded by countless tributes of Wumpa fruit. From above, Crash sneaks into the hut, attempting to steal Papu Papu's Wumpa fruits. As Crash keeps collecting Wumpa fruit, he ultimately ends up making a tower that he has to carry. However, one Wumpa fruit falls down, leaving Crash to use his foot to keep the fruit from falling, leaving himself balancing on one foot. Just then, another fruit begins to fall, leading Crash to grab it with his mouth, becoming more unbalanced. Without notice, a grounded Wumpa fruit begins rolling toward Crash. As Crash begins to hop backwards to move, he ends up stepping and slipping on the Wumpa fruit. As Crash slips and hits the ground, the Wumpa fruits all fall and splat, making a huge mess. At the same time, a few fruits end up hitting Papu Papu. As a messy Papu Papu looks closely, he sees Crash getting up, wiping a bit of Wumpa fruit off of him. Crash then senses something, only for it to be an enraged Papu Papu glaring at him with anger. Feeling the awkward tension, Crash awkwardly cleans up Papu Papu's face, pretending everything's okay as the chieftain continues to glare at Crash in rage. Crash!
Crash Bandicoot!
Papu then grabs his nearby tribal staff and begins trying to whack at Crash, who is able to dodge each swing surprisingly.
Hold still, you no-good banda!
Swiftly, Crash jumps onto Papu Papu's head, rendering him temporarily unconscious and slightly cracks the mask on his head.
You no good. What? Crash! Get back here, you thieving bandicoot!
As Crash runs away, Papu exits his hut, running after Crash in heated rage. The chase continues into the Insanity Jungle of Insanity Island.
You can't get away from me, you mangy rodent!
As the chase continues, Crash looks on to see giant rolling stones in the middle of the Insanity Jungle. Desperate to get away, Crash dodges and sometimes jumps over the rolling stones.
You aren't getting away, you accursed rodent!
Papu gets hit by a rolling stone, leading Crash to look back. Crash attempts to keep going. Crash skids to stop running due to coming face to face with a man-eating plant. As Crash attempts to run away in a Flintstone-like cartoony fashion in midair, the man-eating plant eats him whole, only to feel Crash struggle within his mouth as Crash punches and kicks to get out. The plant ultimately spits Crash out after all the pain, but the saliva on Crash puts him face to face with a slightly injured and angry Papu Papu. Crash then runs back in the plant's direction, Papu following behind in rage.
Get back here, you miserable bandicoot!
Swiftly, the man-eating plant and attempts to eat Papu Papu, Papu's legs being the only thing sticking out of the plant's mouth.
No! Someone get me out of here!
As Crash continues to run, he looks forward only to be stopped and confronted by none other than Aku Aku, giving Crash a stern look, which ultimately ends the chase. Crash looks up at Aku Aku with a guilty smirk. Away from view, a group of tribesmen are attempting to pull Papu Papu out of the plant's mouth, ultimately succeeding, accidentally pulling Papu toward Crash and Aku Aku's direction after the plant let go of Papu. Crash and Aku look on to see Papu on the ground, exaggeratingly injured, while the tribesmen get up to aid their chieftain. The tribesmen then help Papu Papu up.
Are you okay, Chief Papu?
Papu Papu gets up in anger, wiping the dirt off of himself.
This is the last straw, Aku Aku!
Now, Papu. You know he's just a boy.
Don't play that game with me! That's no excuse for letting him run around on his own and letting him think he can do whatever he wants on the island.
I have great respect for you as the guardian of the Wampa Islands,
but ever since you took in this Bandicoot, he's been nothing but trouble. Last month he tried to dig us a moat.
You asked for one,
but not one with actual live crocodiles,
although the crocodile meat was appreciated.
But then there was the Wampa fruit fight he started at the feeding grounds.
Well, you gotta admit she had it coming. Agreed. My mother can be a very hurtful person.
But that's not the point. And let's not forget how last month, when he set Insanity Jungle on fire.
Ooh, I haven't got an argument for that one.
This Bandicoot isn't just trouble, he's stupid.
Okay, Chief Papu, no need for name calling.
I've had it up to here, Aku Aku. I have half a mind to make it illegal for him eating Wampa fruits ever again.
Now, Papu, that seems a bit harsh. Look, I promise I'll take care of Crash, but can you at least give him one more chance? Papu thinks for a moment, thinks of something in particular, or just then.
Fine. Never let it be said that I'm not a fair chief. To repay for the Wampa fruits he stole and destroyed.
You stole Wampa fruits, Crash?
I'm going to insist that he harvests a tribute of 100 Wampa fruits by the time of the eclipse.
Crash and Aku are shocked by this turn of events.
But that's at midnight. Wampa fruits are at the end of their season. We'll be up all night. Well then you'd better get started, because if the tribute isn't received by the Eclipse's apex, Crash will be forever banished from the Insanity Islands and your Wumpa Fruit supply will be cut off!
Papu then takes his leave alongside his tribesmen.
I have spoken!
Come on, Crash. I'm sure Tana will make you something to eat at home, or your name's not... I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to check out our merch store, buy me a coffee page, and Amazon affiliate link linked in the description and pinned comment below, so you can help us expand the channel and give you guys higher quality content. Also, if you want to check out our original content, be sure to check out the playlists linked in the description below. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime, and I'll check you guys later.